Today I'm going to show you 5 behavioral changes that happen when a woman hasn't been intimate for a while. And listen, the last sign is the most powerful of all. It's the one that separates the guys stuck in the friend zone from the men she actually wants in her bed. Let's get into it. Before we dive in, take 1 second to support me. Subscribe to my channel for the latest videos, and also tell me in the comments where are you watching from today. Sign number 1. Touch becomes a parallel language. When a woman has gone a long time without intimate physical contact, her body enters a state that neuroscience calls skin hunger. It's biological. Human skin has millions of oxytocin receptors just waiting for stimulation. And you know what happens? She starts touching you more. But not just anyway. She touches you strategically, almost unconsciously. A touch on your arm while she laughs, adjusting your collar for no apparent reason, or brushing her shoulder against yours during a conversation. These touches last a fraction of a second longer than normal. And here's the secret. She's testing your reaction. If you don't respond, or even worse, if you pull away, her brain registers it as rejection. But if you stay calm, smile, and give that energy back naturally, you've just passed the first test. The second sign. She seeks constant emotional validation. See, when a woman isn't receiving high-quality masculine attention, a void is created. And this void isn't about ego, it's about human connection. We women are wired to seek emotional security before we open up for intimacy. So she starts asking questions. A lot of questions. Things like, do you think I overreacted in that situation? Or, am I too much? She doesn't really want your opinion. She wants to feel that you see her, that you understand her. If you answer on autopilot like, no, you're fine, you've already lost. But if you look her in the eyes and say something like, I think you feel things deeply, and that's rare these days. Boom! You just built an emotional bridge that 99% of men don't even know exists. And if this content is hitting home for you, go ahead and hit that like button down below. It shows me you want more truths like this. Third sign, her body language shifts around masculine energy. This is fascinating. When a woman is in a period of abstinence, her limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for attraction, becomes hypersensitive. It's like her radar is turned up to the max. You'll notice that when she's around you, she fixes her hair more often. She crosses and uncrosses her legs, and she leans her body toward you, even when she's sitting far away. These are micro-expressions. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. But here's the fatal mistake most men make. They interpret this as a green light to move too fast, and they end up scaring her off. The key is to mirror her energy, not overtake it. If she leans in, you lean in. If she touches you, you touch her back. It's a dance. And the guy who leads without looking like he's leading, that's the guy she'll never forget. Fourth sign. She tests your emotional limits. When a woman has been alone for a long time, she develops a protective shell. And before she lets anyone in, she needs to know if you can handle the real version of her, not the edited version people see on social media. So she's going to test you. She'll share something vulnerable and watch your reaction. She might create a little drama just to see if you freak out or stay centered. She'll say something provocative just to measure your emotional balance. Most men fail right here. They either try to solve her problem like it's a math equation, or they get defensive. What she really wants is a man who listens without judgment, a man who has the emotional strength to hold space for her without falling apart. This kind of depth is exactly what I go into in my complete guide, Secrets of Attraction. There, I show you step by step how to become the kind of man women naturally respect and desire. The link is in the description. Here's the revised version of your script with emotional cues and formatting for optimal 11 Labs pronunciation. And now, the fifth and most powerful sign. She creates disguised opportunities for intimacy. This one changes the game completely. When a woman wants a connection but is afraid to be direct, she creates situations. Can you help me with something at my place? Or, I'm kind of scared to watch this movie alone. She's creating a socially acceptable excuse for you two to be alone together. And here is what separates the boys from the men. A boy goes there expecting something to happen magically. A man understands that she needs to feel safe first. When you arrive, don't force anything. Create comfort. Talk, laugh, let the vibe flow. And when she gets close, because she will, you don't act out of desperation. You act like someone who knows his own worth. Look, today I revealed 5 signs that most men will never even notice because they're too busy trying to impress instead of trying to understand. But you now have an advantage that's almost unfair. Use this knowledge responsibly, with respect. And above all, use it to create real connections, because at the end of the day, that's what both you and she really need. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next lesson. Next week, I'm going to teach you the exact phrase that makes a woman open up emotionally to you in less than 10 minutes. Until then, my friend, you're on the right track. Let's go deeper. You see, most men approach attraction like a strategy game. They think, if she touches me, I do this. If she asks for validation, I say that. If she invites me over, it means this. And while patterns exist, women are not algorithms. They are emotional beings responding to how you make them feel in the moment. The real power isn't in recognizing signs. The power is in becoming the kind of man those signs naturally gravitate toward. So how do you do that? Here's your script optimized for 11 labs with emotional cues and formatting to help with correct pronunciation. Second, you must understand the difference between validation and reassurance. When she asks, "Am I too much?" she isn't asking you to fix her insecurity. She's asking if you have the depth to handle her intensity. If you respond with, "No, you're perfect," it sounds nice, but it lacks substance. Instead, acknowledge the emotion beneath the question. You feel deeply. That's not too much, it just means you care. That response tells her you're emotionally present. Presence is rare, and rarity creates value. Now let's talk about masculine energy. Not the loud, aggressive, chest-beating version social media promotes. I'm talking about calm dominance, the ability to take initiative without overpowering, to lead without controlling, to desire without needing. If you mishandle that moment by rushing, pressuring, or assuming entitlement, you confirm her fears. But if you handle it with patience and confidence, you become the safe place her body and mind can relax into. Let's talk about relaxation. A woman who feels safe around you will physically relax. Her shoulders drop. Her breathing slows. Her voice softens. She leans in without hesitation. That relaxation is the gateway to deeper connection, and it only happens when she trusts your emotional stability. This is why your inner work matters more than your pickup lines. Confidence isn't what you say, it's how comfortable you are with silence. It's your ability to sit next to her without filling every gap with nervous chatter. It's maintaining eye contact without staring aggressively. It's smiling because you're genuinely enjoying the moment, not because you're trying to impress her. And here's something powerful. Attraction often builds strongest in slow burning tension, not immediate escalation, not rushed physicality. Tension is the space between desire and fulfillment. When you allow that space to exist, you amplify anticipation. That's why mirroring her energy works so well. It creates harmony. You're not chasing ahead, and you're not lagging behind. You're dancing at the same rhythm. Now, let's address something uncomfortable. Some of you watching this are overly nice. You think being agreeable will earn intimacy. You say yes to everything. You suppress your opinions to avoid conflict. You become the emotional support system without expressing your own needs, and you end up in the friend zone. Why? Because polarity disappears when you abandon your edge. Being emotionally strong doesn't mean being emotionless. It means having standards. It means being able to say, I don't agree, calmly. It means teasing her playfully without cruelty. It means not apologizing for existing. Women crave a man who can stand firm without being rigid. Soft heart, strong spine. Here's your script optimized for 11 labs with emotional cues and formatting to ensure proper pronunciation and expression. Let me give you an example. She says something slightly provocative. I bet you say that to all the girls. The insecure man defends himself frantically. No, I swear, I don't. I'm not like that. The centered man smiles. Only the interesting ones. See the difference? One reacts. The other responds. Attraction thrives in emotional control. Now let's explore the psychology behind abstinence and heightened sensitivity. When someone has been without intimacy for a while, their awareness of connection increases. Touch feels stronger. Eye contact lingers longer. Conversations feel deeper. But heightened sensitivity can also mean heightened caution. She may oscillate between warmth and distance. One day she's leaning into you. The next day she's slightly guarded. Don't interpret this as manipulation. It's often internal processing. She's gauging her own comfort level. Your role is consistency. Consistency builds trust faster than intensity. Text her at a reasonable pace. Show up when you say you will. Keep your tone steady. The more predictable your stability, the more she'll allow herself to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is the ultimate intimacy. Physical closeness without emotional vulnerability feels empty. But emotional vulnerability naturally leads to physical closeness. That's why when she shares something personal, you must treat it with care. No jokes at her expense. No dismissive comments. No turning her confession into a story about yourself. Listen. Reflect. Validate the feeling. Not the drama, just the emotion behind it. When she senses that you can hold her emotions without collapsing under them, she'll lean in deeper. And here's a truth most men overlook. Women test emotional strength not to push you away, but to see if you're strong enough to stay. Strength is quiet. It's in your tone. It's in your pacing. It's in your ability to remain centered when she's uncertain. Now, let's go even deeper. Desire isn't just physical. It's psychological contrast. If you're always available, always responding instantly, always free at her convenience, you remove mystery. You remove space for her imagination. This doesn't mean playing games. It means having your own life. Have goals, have routines, have passions that don't revolve around her. When she sees that your world is full, she'll want to be part of it, not the center of it. Independence fuels attraction. And here's something critical. Never treat intimacy as a reward for good behavior. Intimacy is a shared experience, not a transaction. If you approach it like you've earned something, you shift into entitlement. And entitlement kills connection. Instead, see intimacy as mutual exploration. Two energies choosing each other. Choice is powerful. When she feels like she's choosing you, not being pressured by you, her desire multiplies. Now imagine this scenario. You're at her place. The lights are dim. Conversation is flowing. There's laughter. There's subtle tension. She sits closer than before. Her knee brushes yours. What do? Nothing dramatic. You slow down. You look at her. You let the moment breathe. If she maintains eye contact, if her body remains open, you gently close the distance. Not abruptly, not aggressively, gradually. And if she hesitates, you respect it immediately. Respect is attractive. The ability to pause without frustration shows maturity, and maturity is magnetic. Let's address rejection for a moment. Not every invitation will lead to intimacy. Not every sign means readiness. If she pulls back, don't internalize it as failure. Attraction isn't a straight line, it's fluid. When you detach from outcome, you become more attractive. Outcome independence is one of the rarest traits in modern dating. Most people cling to results. They need validation. They need confirmation. But the man who is okay either way, he radiates calm confidence. And women feel that. Energy communicates before words ever do. Your breathing, your posture, your pace of speech, all of it signals your internal state. So work on that state. Exercise, meditate, read, develop emotional intelligence. The better your relationship with yourself, the smoother your connection with her. Because here's the final layer most men never reach. Intimacy is a reflection. If you feel unworthy, you'll rush. If you feel insecure, you'll overcompensate. If you feel grounded, you'll attract naturally. Everything starts within. You can memorize signs. You can rehearse responses. But if your core is shaky, it will leak through your behavior. So build the core. Become the man who doesn't need to chase signals because he trusts his perception. Become the man who doesn't crumble under emotional pressure. Become the man who values connection over conquest. And when you do, something shifts. You stop trying to win women, and you start connecting with them. That's the difference between boys and men. Boys seek validation. Men create safety. Boys chase outcomes. Men enjoy moments. Boys react emotionally. Men respond intentionally. If you internalize that, you won't just recognize signs, you'll embody attraction itself. And that, my friend, is the real secret. So take this knowledge, reflect on it, apply it slowly. Don't rush transformation. Growth is gradual, but every interaction is practice. Every conversation is feedback. Every moment of restraint builds power. You're not here by accident. You're here because part of you wants to level up not just in dating, but in life. And leveling up requires awareness. Stay observant. Stay grounded. Stay respectful. Because when desire meets emotional strength, intimacy becomes effortless. And that's where real connection begins.